Okay, well, Damien, straight into the chats. What was your initial thoughts on the Super 4 when it got made?
Exciting. I think if you recall, after Brandon's fight, I made a statement to Mr. Berman. I said to you when you were interviewing Brandon, let's make a Super 8.
Yes.
So yeah, my mind was already kind of set on that kind of structure. So yeah.
Well, obviously the powers that be listen. And what was your reaction? Obviously that wheel came in and you kind of mentally preparing for someone maybe. What was your reaction when you had drawn Rourke Knapp?
I was happy with Rourke. I would have been happy with anyone. My mind was set on Boyd, just because I would have wanted that immediate rematch. And also because Brennan had fought Linda Southpaw, Boyd being majority of the time a Southpaw, and then Mbia coming out to the fight Southpaw. It would have been nice preparing for Boyd again being that Southpaw. So now we have to make the adjustments, prepare for an orthodox. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, it is what it is. But I was happy with Rourke. It didn't matter who we fought. I just wanted the Boyd fight because we had that consistency with the Southpaws. So just making the adjustments now for Rourke. So that's it.
Well, I was fortunate enough to catch up with Rourke's manager just before, a couple of days ago, and he was saying that he feels maybe that Rourke is expected to win this fight. What are your thoughts on that comment?
Yeah, look, I see a lot of the public haven't brought Brandon into the picture whatsoever. They're all going towards Boyd, Rourke, odd few voting for Tristan. So maybe it's nice to be completely the underdog. You don't have any, should we say, there's no pressure. There's no expectations of Brandon expected to win the tournament in the public's eye. But I think a lot of people are underestimating Brandon. I think Brandon walks in with the most experience. I think Brandon's had the toughest of fights out of all of the fighters. So yeah, I think for me, Tristan Tritter is not a legitimate junior middleweight. He's actually a welterweight. So I think that's going to play in the favor of Boyd. I know he's changed camps now. Let's see what Peter does with Boyd. It's going to be interesting to watch that because I have to watch the fight. We'll see who we're going to face after that. So I'm looking forward to that fight. I want to see the adjustments Boyd makes to his game. I want to see what Tritter comes with. It's going to be interesting. Just going to see how Tristan handles the rounds. I don't think he's had a lot of round experience. I think if Boyd does take the fight, I think Boyd's going to take the fight in the later rounds. He's had a couple of good, should I say, 10 rounders, 11 rounders, 12 rounders. So he's got experience behind him. I want to take him. Boyd went 8 with that Southpaw that came out.
Yeah, Zarevitsky.
And then he did 10 rounds with 11 with John Papape, 12 with Brandon. So he's been into the deep waters of boxing now. So I think that's going to count in favor of Boyd. I think with Tristan, let's see how he brings the Harold mindset to the game. Is he going to try and box like Tommy, or is he going to try and come forward like Johnny? So it's going to be interesting to see what Tristan's going to try and apply. Is he going to try and adjust his game completely? Is he going to use his speed? Is he going to try and use his power early? It's up to him. So that's going to be a nice fight to watch. Brandon and Rourke's a nice fight to watch. You've got, I think, two styles. I think both of them can bring different game plans to the fight. I think Brandon can bring a different game plan, and I think Rourke can bring a different game plan. So it's going to be exciting to see what the camps bring to the fight on the night.
You mentioned in that interview we did straight after the draw that's 200,000 rand. You put that in front of a man. Have you seen a difference in Brandon? Is he getting up for this camp as maybe opposed to some of the others?
Definitely. But I also do think it's because Brandon has had 4 fights with me now. So he's adjusted his mindset of the sport and adjusted the way he needs to train. So I think he's now evolved into my kind of way of training. So I think he's now made that adjustment. I think that's added towards the camp. But look, the money is a bonus. I think that's also a bit of motivation for the guys. At the end of the day, they do want to come well prepared. It's good money. And I think they know that at the end of this fight, there's a bigger one. So the guys are going to come more prepared. I did say that in the last interview, you've got a different man in front of you for 20,000 and 200,000. So I'm looking forward to it. Brandon's motivated. He's training exceptionally hard. Camp's going really well, so I'm happy.
Okay, let's dive into Rourke Knapp now. The opponent, obviously, you can't give away secrets of how you're going to break him down. But you've had him in the gym before sparring. You've been a part of the deal that sent him to the UK and then he returned. Your thoughts on him?
Rourke's a good fighter. I always believed he was a good fighter. I said it very early when he started boxing. He's got heart, he's got courage, he's not scared to get hit, he's not scared to open up as well. So he's a good fighter, as well as my guy. I think everyone knows Brandon can take a shot. We all know he can give a shot, he can bring the fight, he can box, he can do pretty much everything, and so can Rourke. So it's two very good fighters fighting each other. I think it's got more, if you look at the fights, I think that's more of an exciting fight than Boyd and Tristan. I think there's a lot of excitement around Brandon versus Rourke. So I think a lot of people are excited. I don't want to nitpick at Rourke. I'll nitpick at him in my personal time and what I need to work on for Brandon to beat him.
What do you think they looking at that they, so confident in getting the results?
They can be as confident as they want to be. They can be confident because they've got a good fighter.
I shouldn't wait for him to go.
No.
Okay, you can just start from there.
They can be as confident as they want to be. They have got a good fighter in it, or they have got a good fighter in Rourke, so they can be confident. I can be confident because I know I've got a good fighter in Brandon. I've got the most experienced fighter of the tournament in my corner. So I'm happy I have that. Brandon has been rounds many a times. Let's see how Rourke does well in the later rounds. Maybe Rourke goes to sleep early. Maybe we put Rourke out later. Maybe it goes to points. So let's see. Are we playing chess? Are we going to war? I don't know. We're gonna see how the styles collide on the night. We can prepare for something, and then we have something else in front of us. So I think the best thing is just to cover everything. I think Marcus said the same thing, cover everything. I think that's the best way to kind of prepare for these guys, because on the night, the styles will determine how the fight's going to go.
I made a mention in the interview with Marco as well about the WBC and the fact that there's two guys ranked in the WBC. And I'm not saying, and I go back to it, I'm not saying that they're going to fight after this tournament straight. Potential future fights, obviously we've mentioned Emmanuel Columba's name many times. Would you entertain that?
Rourke and Imani.
Not straight away, but like in a couple of years' time.
It means nothing for me. Rourke's career is going to go on ice after Brandon beats him. So yeah, that means nothing to me. If Rourke wants to box with Emmanuel, he's more than welcome to step into this gym and have a taste. There's no interest for me in that fight. Rourke possesses nothing that I want for Imani. Imani is a top 100 contender. He needs to be mixing with the top 50 in the world. He doesn't need to be mixing with Rourke Canop. Rourke Canop hasn't really played with significant fighters at local level, let alone fought for an SA title yet. So let Rourke go and do his thing in his career. Let my international star continue doing on what he needs to do in tasting international waters. You
took also a picture a long time ago with the two of them and saying that this is the future of boxing. Do you still maintain those thoughts?
Yes, I do. Emmanuel's the future at junior middle. I think Rourke would have been the future at welter. I think his biggest mistake is he's in the wrong division, and I think that will pay on the night.
And you say the same thing about Tristan?
Tristan as well. I think the two welterweights are going to feel it the most in this fight. I think you will see a Brandon Boyd final. That is my opinion, and I want that fight. Nothing against Boyd. I've got nothing against him. I think he's a very nice person. But for me, it's just juicy. Everyone loved the first fight.
Yeah. They
will love the second fight. So that's the exciting one. If it's Rourke and Boyd in the final, everyone will be like, ugh, two former sparring partners. Or is it going to be a sparring match? Not exciting. Tristan beats Boyd. That adds a bit of excitement. But then you've got Brandon and Tristan. Now you're like, oh, they were former friends in the gym. They were training together. There's no excitement. There's excitement in Brandon versus Boyd. So that's what everyone would like to see, I think, at the end of the day. They want to see Brandon and Boyd. The rematch is a close fight. Some people felt Brandon won, some people felt Boyd won. That's the excitement. Anything else than that, the credibility of the Super 4 loses it if Brandon and Boyd don't fight each other in the final.
In saying that, are you picking Boyd to win the match against Tristan?
I can't say I'm picking Boyd to beat Tristan. What happens in that fight happens. I want Boyd to win because I want the rematch with Boyd. That's my feeling. I'm not saying because I discredit Tristan. I do think he'll feel it at junior middleweight, but he could come through. There's no question about it. The boy carries good speed. He's got good power. He looks nicely for his shots. He lands his shots. So he does pose a threat to Boyd, but I think Boyd's experience will come through. And boxing experience, he may not have a lot of boxing experience, but like I always say, he's got a lot of fight experience, and that you can't take away from him. He's been in wars. He's tasted the hardest of knees, kicks, elbows. So a punch from Tristan being a natural welterweight may not bother Boyd too much. in my opinion. So I'm leaning towards Boyd in that fight, but I'm leaning towards Boyd because, like I say, I want Boyd versus Brandon. That is ultimately why I want that final.
I mean, there's a lot of incentive in the tournament, which besides the money, there's bragging rights on the line. If one had to lose to the
bragging
other,
rights to be the best South African junior middleweight.
Yeah,
best South African.
That's obviously a reference to the best being
African.
Emmanuel Colombo.
Yes, best African is Emmanuel Colombo. The best South African will be determined after this tournament.
The bronze medal match, if it has to happen, does that excite you? The bronze medal, like if you had to, there's a fight for third place as well. I mean, the two losers fight, the two winners fight.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it just gives the guys a fight to kind of redeem themselves and try and continue with their career.
Do you like the fact that they're implementing it?
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's a nice undercard. It could create an interest. What happens if Brandon loses and Boyd loses? Then you got Brandon and Boyd there.
Then
it's exciting. So you still got that fight. So it depends who wins and who loses. Depends what fights being the third and fourth place. I mean, Rourke and Tristan will also be a great fight to watch, the two of them. So that'll also be a nice third, fourth. So I think either way it mixes up, it could be quite interesting. So it's fun. But for me, like I say, I think a final with that specialness to it, to give the whole show a bit of character, is we saw Brandon and Boyd, great fight. Now both of them are in the final, which means they're the two best doing it again. That's power.
I pushed Marco to give me a prediction. Am I going to get you to give me a prediction on this fight?
Do you want a prediction? I gave you my prediction. Rourke might go to bed early, might go to bed late, might go to points, can go any way it wants to go, but Brandon's the winner.
So the winner's the prediction?
The winner's the winner. Brandon Fast Guns Thysse'S is the winner.
And then lastly, a side note is, from what we've gathered, you want Brandon versus Boyd in the final, and then sort of the two youngsters which you believe are welterweights to be in the third. All right. Well, thank you for having a chat with us. Do you have anything you want to add?
I think everyone must get excited about the tournament. I think it's nice, it's exciting. It's a nice way to end off the year. I think it brings a bit of excitement for the new year for South African boxing. And well done to Rodney and Jeff for thinking of the tournament and putting this all together and giving and incentivizing the guys. They didn't have to do it at such an extent, but they have, which is very nice. And yeah, I think everyone's excited about this, and I think there's going to be surprises, there's going to be some upsets, there's going to be some tears of joy and some hectic tears and a lot of blood. I think there's going to be a lot of blood. I think a lot of guys are going to bring the fights in this because they want to prove themselves. So we could see some bloody affairs here.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, forward war. Anyway, thank you for letting me come to the gym. We're going to come a bit closer to the time to interview Brandon. All the best with the preparation.
100%. Thank you.